Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Mind of Iggy. I'm here, just kind of looking at my garden and getting things ready for spring. As you can see, I got things growing. Got beans, got tomatoes. A little start on my sowing of the seeds, but I brought them outside a little bit just to get a little air, get a little sunshine, get a little cool weather, but we're doing pretty good. You know, there's been a lot going on right now in the world about food dependency. We have a spiritual side of us that we work on every day. This spiritual aspect, we try to get alignment and trying to find ourselves and put ourselves into the light and be in a good space spiritually. But it's really hard sometimes to be spiritual when you're not eating well, when your body in your temple isn't in alignment with your spirit. Why? Because we need food, we need sustenance, because we are human beings first. And we are human beings first, and we are spiritual beings first. So hear that twice first, because we're both. But it's like anything. It's like a good, car, or even a used car or an old car. It needs certain things. It needs some things to take care of it. Gas, oil, transmission fluid, and occasionally greasing of the bearings and stuff. But that's how it is. We have to kind of remember these facts, because sometimes as humans we forget. And sometimes we're in such a hurry that we just dump anything into the fuel tank. And the fuel tank is food, water. So the things that we do is important, and that will affect us. If we drink pop, if we drink sodas, beers, alcohol and stuff, I'm not saying you can't do that. But I'm saying just know that your spiritual body is connected to your physical body. They're not apart. We live in a dualistic world. There's a sun and there's a moon. So when there's a moon, they pull the tides, and when there's a sun, they pull the tides. The same way, our body's the same way. It's affected by what nourishment we put in our body. So making a garden is important. These are going to be sunflower seeds. These are going to be, I believe, beans of sorts. As you can see, the beans. And then I have, I have some tomato plants here. And then some decorative plants also. Just got a little bit of everything. Because right now, the world is dependent on each other. The world is interlocked with each other. All countries, to some degree, work together in order to sustain countries that can't sustain themselves. So we're the same way as humans. There are people in our community who can't sustain themselves. And they are in really deep need of help and understanding. But in order for us to help them, we have to help ourselves, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And so this is what my message is today is. If you've never done or you've never built a garden before, today is a good start. Now, if you notice, there hasn't been a lot of starter plants in your local Lowe's and, Home Depots and stuff. A lot of it has to do because the trucking industry is kind of screwed up right now. And so that's why you don't see a lot of these big, huge plants, a lot of these big potted plants that you see. Is because no one's really been planting them, or no one's been able to move them. There's going to be a lot of local nurseries we can support. There's a lot of local small nurseries. Look them up, Google it. Local nurseries in my neighborhood. Support them, because you know what? Sometimes the Lowe's and the Home Depots, they just may not have it this year. But building a garden is very valuable, very important, very very good for our soul. Watching something grow. Some of your plants aren't going to make it. Some of your plants just won't grow. They're like human beings. You can give them all the nourishment and all the love you can, but they're just not designed, and they're not ready to foster in this environment that's here. And sometimes we're the same way. Sometimes we want to grow and we want to, excel and do better, but it's our environment. Sometimes we're just one of those seeds that just wasn't meant to be. But the human aspect of it is we can persevere, we can go over and above when we put our mind or spirit to it. But it all starts with good nutrition, good food. You could be all spiritual you want and meditate all you want, but if you're not eating properly and you're not filling the tank properly, it causes problems. And in our country here in America, we have a lot of problems with the healthcare system. We have a lot of people who just don't eat well because it's education, it's money, it's a whole slew of stuff. So when you put your physical body in a good alignment, it helps create your spiritual body. Your spiritual body is always yearning and wanting to do better, wanting to excel. But sometimes it can't because it's stuck. It's like stuck in the mud because the physical body isn't in alignment with the spiritual body. So these two things work together. You know, the illusion that we want to kill duality is kind of stupid, if you ask me, because number one, that's like trying to kill the moon and just having the sun. Too much of one thing is too much. You see a lot of your movies where they try to kill, the darkness. But here's the problem. There has to be a balance, a yin and yang balance. What is above is below, dark and shadow. Because a good teacher once told me, when a person is moving into the light, another person is moving into darkness. Because that's the balance of the universe. The universe has to fill a void, and that's how it is. Now, darkness doesn't mean bad. Darkness just means you're just in a place where you have to reflect. The illusion is that we think that darkness is a bad thing. No, it's not. Sometimes the light can be so blinding that we can't see our path and see where we need to go. So everything has its limitations. Everything has its thing. And when you look at it and you see it for what it is versus what you think it is, the feeling, the emotion is there. But you have to learn how to navigate through those things. The darkness is we can't see. And the light blinds us and we can't see. How ironic how we can be blinded in both capacities. But yet, when we focus our spirit and our mind and our soul into it, we can actually see in the light and then we can see in the darkness. It's because our body adjusts, our spiritual body, our etheric body, our temple. So my friends, I'm just here to tell you, make a garden this year, because you know what? The way things in the world is going right now, we don't know what's going to be going on. We hear rumors about, food shortages and different things like that. And it's possible that we could have some serious consequences for the actions that we make. Humans sometimes make very catastrophic decisions because out of fear and anger and frustration and lack of. And the lack mentality will always get us in trouble. All right, guys, that's it. Mind of Iggy, I'm out of here. Take care. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a wonderful Easter. I will probably be on a show tonight, a live feed, a broadcast, but definitely on Sunday. I'm going to have Cloud Piler and Jonathan with me, and we're going to be talking about exactly what we're talking about right now. This is just a precursor. That will be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday on Facebook Live and wherever podcasts are free. All right, take care. It's good to be here. I'll talk to you soon.